When I really think about it, the online space is something that's truly amazing. I mean, we're able to converse with other believers and get in fellowship with them, talk to people who have, like the same interests as us. And we can do this with people across the country, across the world even. It's honestly kind of crazy, and sometimes I just stop and just think like, wow, like we're living in this age where we can do that. Like, that's really cool. But with that, there also comes room for that to be used for not so good things. And by that, I mean things like call-out posts and cancel culture. Now, I will be real. In my own experience of being on the internet and being a part of multiple fandoms, I have never seen a call-out post that was warranted or that was needed. In fact, I just don't think they're needed at all. The thing about call-out posts is that they immediately paint someone in a negative light. And even if that person does get a chance to respond, their reputation is already going to be tainted because of the contents of that call-out post. I think call-out posts are a sort of symptom, I guess, of a larger problem that I feel happens nowadays, where it's that conversations are either very one-sided or they are just two people talking to each other. And I don't think that should be how a conversation is. A conversation at its core should be two people listening to each other. At the beginning of the book of James, it talks about how we as believers need to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. What that means is that when we're even just in regular conversations, when we're talking with people, when we're interacting with them, we should be listeners first and foremost, rather than talkers. Call-out posts and cancel culture, at least in my opinion, are the epitome of quick to get angry and quick to speak. We pin things on people without even considering what they're going through, or situations that they might be going through, or considering things like context. And while yes, some things that people do in call-out posts may be bad, I think as Christians we also need to consider that we're no better. So many call-out posts I see have pages and pages and pages of all of these things that people did and all of these bad things that people did. And while I'm not going to discount that, yes, people do bad things, people make mistakes, we are by nature drawn towards sin. And so I'm not going to deny that. But I think we also have to consider, if we're looking at this other person and we are marking down all of their mistakes, all of their wrongdoings, and labeling them as a bad person, we have to remember that we are no better. We're no better than that person we're calling out, because we're all sinners at the end of the day. We all mess up. Putting a bunch of someone else's mess ups doesn't change the fact that you've messed up too, and you have messed up just as badly as that other person. Once again, in the book of James, that book talks about how if we've broken one law, we've broken them all, and we are all guilty of breaking God's law. So before you make that call-out post, or before you get angry with that person, just stop for a second and consider the consequences and exactly what that entails. You're no better than them. And as Christians, if we are going to call people out, because God never said that we can't call people out. God never said that we can't, call out people for what they do. It says in the Bible that as Christians, we should be getting in trouble for being Christians, not for just doing mean things. And so, obviously, if someone is doing mean things, then yes, call them out. But whatever we do as Christians should be done in love and should be done to bring people to repentance, not to bring people to more sorrow. Paul talks in 2 Corinthians about godly grief and how godly grief brings forth repentance, whereas worldly grief brings forth death. And I feel like a lot of the time with call-out posts and cancel culture and stuff, it's not done with the intent to lead people to repentance or to give them a chance. It's done to essentially ostracize people and, to an extent, to ruin their life. I've seen firsthand lives ruined by call-out posts, and it's kind of crazy how we live at an age where that can happen, but it's true. So at the end of the day, just remember, before you make a call-out post or before you get angry or whatever, remember, you know better. And as Christians, we are called to be slow to speak, slow to get angry, and quick to listen. Thanks, guys.